Stephanie, the reason you don't feel good is because you're withdrawing. Okay? That's the reason why your chest hurts. That's the reason why you keep going. Because you're withdrawing. When you withdraw, you get sick. Especially from, like, age and stuff. You get what they call, like, the super flu. Which is exactly what it's awful. Anyways. That's what's going on with you. And then you say sorry for not posting any sub-only content when whoever these people, I don't know who these people are, whoever they are giving you money every month. And you can't even make them a little video, a little 1 or 2 minute video. It's bad business. That's bad business, Stephanie. But yeah, how about getting off social media, getting sober, because I don't really know why you're on social media at this point, because it's not like it's paying any of your bills.
Not Stephanie Jenkins blaming the court that she's unable to attend because she has too many kids. Like, make that make sense. So, if you didn't know, Stephanie Jenkins posted a little comment, a little post, a little something to her Only Subs account on Facebook. And in this Only Subs account on Facebook, she decided that she was going to blame who else but the judge and the court system for not allowing her to attend, saying that she is unable to speak for Drew. Like, he doesn't need a translator. How can you say that you were a pawn when you're not even on the chessboard? Like, you're not even allowed to go to court. So how can you say that you're voiceless if you're not even attempting to go? And why are you making it about you, Stephanie Jenkins? That case has nothing to do with you. It all has to do with the relationship between Deshaun, his mom, and even his own father, which is Drew. None that has to do with you. He's always like playing, oh please God. No, stop asking him if you're not even going to do what you need to do to take care of business, okay? God's busy right now. You need to take care of you need to take care of your kids, and this has nothing to do with you because it's maddening, Stephanie. But go ahead and read all of it in its totality and let me know what you think.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel where we spill the tea, unpack the mess, and keep it real with a side of shade. Alright, let's get into it. Today, we're diving deep into the latest alleged drama swirling around the resilient Jenkins and her sub-only post drama. Buckle up, because this is a roller coaster of audacity, heartbreak, and straight-up chaos. Before we dive into today's wild ride, drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching this video from and what time it is in your country. I would really like to know. Let's kick things off with the sub-only post that has the internet in a frenzy. Allegedly, Stephanie dropped a tear-soaked rant, claiming she's helpless because she can't be there to support Drew in his legal battle to keep his son Deshaun away from his biological mom, Desiree. Now, pause for a second. Stephanie's out here acting like she's the ride-or-die queen, but let's be real. She's not fighting for world peace. She's supposedly backing Drew's attempt to alienate a child from his own mother. Like, girl, what? The rumor mill says she's whining about a court order against her, acting all shocked and confused, like, how could they do this to me? Honey, if you're inserting yourself into a custody battle that ain't yours, what did you expect? A gold star? The courts don't play when it comes to kids, and neither should we. Stephanie's out here painting herself as the victim, but the tea suggests she's more focused on playing stepmom supreme than actually considering what's best for Deshaun. And let's not act like Drew's some master communicator either. Word on the street is he can't string 2 sentences together in a courtroom, but he's got all the energy in the world to cuss out Stephanie's kids and play video games all day. Priorities, right? If he can't explain to a judge why he's keeping Deshaun from his mom, maybe it's because there's no good reason. Just a thought.
So let me get this straight. Stephanie done made a sub-only post talking about how helpless she is because she can't be there for Drew and how she has this court order against her. And that she doesn't understand how they can possibly put a court order on her. Y'all can pause to read, but I will have it sitting up here. First of all, Stephanie, there is no reason for you to be there in support of Drew. So basically, you want to be there to support him keeping Deshaun from his mom. That's what you're telling us? Stephanie, the only support that you have for your man is excuses. And you know dang well that judge is going to clock your shit. Oh, y'all, Drew can't put together words, but he can put together a video game, and he can play video games all day. And he can put the words together to cuss her kids out. But, oh, he can't explain to a judge why he has been alienating his son from his mother. Oh, and Stephanie, I bet the judge would love to know why you are considering yourself a mother to Deshaun. You're not a mama of 5, you're a mama of 4. It is the complete and utter audacity for me. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.
Now, let's talk about what's got my blood boiling. Stephanie calling herself a mama of 5. Excuse me? Last I checked, Deshawn has a mother, and her name is Desiree. Stephanie's got 4 kids of her own, and trying to claim Deshawn as her own is a level of audacity that deserves its own reality show. It's not just bold, it's disrespectful. Allegedly, she's out here acting like she's the devoted stepmom, but the rumors suggest she's more interested in supporting Drew's questionable choices than being a positive influence. She's not out here building bridges, she's burning them. And let's talk about Drew for a hot minute. The man can allegedly put together a video game faster than he can form a coherent argument in court. He's got the vocabulary to snap at Stephanie's kids, but when it's time to explain why he's alienating Deshawn from his mom, crickets. The judge is probably looking at him like, "Sir, you're not making sense." And Stephanie's right there, allegedly cheering him on, acting like this is some noble cause. Y'all, the only thing noble here is the restraint I'm showing by not screaming into the void.
So the reason Stephanie Jenkins does not care about Drew cheating is because clearly Stephanie is still in love with her husband. He is in prison for essaying his mom and grooming his children, and just has a really nasty history with sexual abuse. So he's in prison. She never divorced him. And I think, especially because she went into hysteria when he got arrested, I think that she's waiting for him to come out of prison, and she's just passing time with Drew. That's why she doesn't care. And she'll have more babies. She doesn't care. And then when he gets out, they're going to reunite. And then he's going to have access to all those kids. And it's just going to be a nightmare all over again. So I don't think Stephanie cares at all. She doesn't even want to believe the rumors. She doesn't care. She's just all over the place. She says she's sick now, and I don't know. Something's just so off with her in that situation, and her still being married to her husband, who is clearly a really evil guy. So let me know your thoughts in the comments.
But let's get to the real heartbreak of this story, because it's not the courtroom drama or Stephanie's crocodile tears. It's the kids, Stephanie's 4 kids, who are still reeling from the loss of their beloved cats, Milo and Onyx. These weren't just pets, they were family. For over 2 years, those cats were the kids' comfort. They're emotional anchors in a home that, let's be honest, sounds like a pressure cooker of chaos. When Stephanie and Drew got evicted from their apartment, they didn't just lose their home. They lost Milo and Onyx too. The kids were devastated, y'all. Allegedly, they were crying, asking where their fur babies went, with one child even saying they wished they could have done something to stop it. Can you imagine the pain? These kids, already dealing with an unstable environment, had to watch their pets get tossed out like yesterday's trash. It's not just about losing animals, it's about losing a piece of their hearts, their stability, their sense of safety in a world that's already falling apart around them.
Everybody is nice and distracted by the GFM and Desiree and the money and the advocate. I don't care. I want to discuss why Stephanie thought it was so cute, so wholesome, to take a picture of Drew holding Addie's foot on the bed, just caressing it, inspecting it, knowing what we know, thanks to the resilience eyepiece, about Drew's preferences. If I know my man likes feet, I'm not going to give him my daughter's feet and then take a picture and post it on my story. Because even though you guys like to act like you're just one big happy family, he is not blood related to those girls. He's not. He is just a random, non-related, grown man living in the same space as 2 adolescent young ladies. That in and of itself, CPS. I'm sorry, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that CPS already has a thing where, like, they do not want people of the opposite gender that are non-familial living in the same enclosed space, like a 1-bedroom, a 1-room motel. I'm pretty sure that's not allowed. At the end of the day, it's your job to protect your children, and I feel like you just don't. I feel like you don't. You put them in precarious situations. You know what your father or your husband has already done to that little girl. And you put her in another situation just like it. If you know that's his thing, then you should never make it accessible or relatable to your children. Period. End of story. And that might be easy for me to understand because I'm a normal human being and I didn't supposedly help my husband do awful things to children. So there's that.
Picture this. These kids are reportedly crammed into a one-room motel with 5 siblings and 2 adults. No space, no privacy, no peace. They're sleeping on thin mattresses, some on the floor, in a noisy, overcrowded room that's more like a pressure cooker than a home. Allegedly, one of the younger kids was seen curled up, whispering Milo's name, tears streaming down their face. Another asked if their cats were warm somewhere, hoping they weren't suffering. These are the kinds of moments that break your heart. Small, quiet, but so heavy. The kids are carrying this pain, and it's not just about the cats. It's about losing their home and their belongings, their sense of normalcy. They're in this cramped, chaotic space, surrounded by stress, with no room to breathe or process. And while they're grappling with this, Stephanie's out here posting on TikTok, asking for content ideas. Not therapy ideas for her kids, not housing solutions, content ideas. Girl, your kids are crying over their cats and you're worried about your next viral moment? The math ain't mathing.
I know the popular opinion is that Stephanie is on drugs. I do not think that that's the case. I'm sorry, y'all, but I do not think that's the case. I'm gonna be real vulnerable with y'all for a second. I'm bipolar. I have bipolar depression, professionally diagnosed, okay? So when I look at her videos, going all the way from the beginning to where we're at now, what it looks like to me is someone who is making horrible decisions while they're in manic episodes and then like kind of going back into these depressive episodes, and that's where things kind of like go left. Well, more left than they already were. How she goes a few days and just disappears and doesn't post anything. I haven't posted for a week. That's because I was in a depressive episode. But then I come back and I post 6-7 times a day because I'm manic. She does the exact same thing. Like, even the way her look has changed, her whole facial features and everything, like her eyes being pinpointed and pupils being big or small or whatever. Like,
let's dive deeper into what life in that motel must feel like for these kids. Allegedly, it's not just about the physical space, or lack thereof. It's the emotional toll. The youngest ones are reportedly restless, irritable, confused, like they don't understand why their world keeps shrinking. The older ones, they're withdrawn, tense, like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They're not just dealing with the loss of their cats, they're dealing with the loss of everything they've ever known. Their home, gone. Their stuff, auctioned off in a storage unit, allegedly, after Stephanie promised they'd get it back later. Their pets, abandoned without a goodbye. Imagine being a kid, thinking things are finally looking up because you got some new stuff from a wish list, only to have it all ripped away. One child reportedly said they thought they'd finally get a space of their own, only to end up in a motel room with 7 people and no room to breathe. That's not just disappointing, it's soul-crushing. These kids are living through an emotional roller coaster, and there's no sign of it slowing down.
those are all telltale signs of someone who is going through mania or depression. Genuinely, truly, again, I know, unpopular opinion, I do not think that she is on hard drugs. If anything, she smokes some weed here and there. That's it, that's all. But let me also be very clear too. A declining mental health is not an excuse to be a horrible human being. Let's make that very clear, okay? Because I know that a lot of people in this day and age like to blame mental health for their poor decision making, which, yes, it can be attributed to it, but when you know that you have something wrong in your brain and you don't take the proper steps to seek help, you're at fault for that. And I've been through that, so I'm not perfect, you know. Pot calling the kettle black, okay, whatever. There was even a post, I'm gonna post it like right here, but there was even a post where she said something about she self-medicates and her family thinks that she's a monster for it. And that gave me everything I needed to know for the fact that she has mental health issues and she doesn't want to be medicated for it, so she gets high instead. Yep, makes all the sense in the world. Why she's so male-centered, why she lashes out randomly for no reason. It just all makes sense. And I really truly feel like if she took the proper steps to get professional mental help, her entire world would change, would shift so heavy. Anyway, that's what I noticed, and I really want to know if anyone else noticed that too. Anyone who has like experience with like bipolarism specifically. Am I tripping? Am I projecting? Am I reaching too far? I don't know. I don't think I am. I think it all makes sense to me for real. But anyway, let me know what you think.
Now, let's talk about Milo and Onyx, because their story is both heartbreaking and, in some ways, the only bright spot in this mess. Allegedly, when Stephanie and Drew got evicted, they didn't just rehome the cats, they abandoned them. Word is, Milo was seen scratching at the apartment door, meowing, confused and terrified, trying to get back inside. And what did Drew do? Allegedly, he grabbed that poor cat and tossed him out like he was nothing. Stephanie stood there and watched. Didn't say a word, didn't try to stop it. The video evidence, if you slow it down, supposedly shows this exact moment. Milo scurrying in only to be booted out by Drew. And Stephanie had the nerve to include that clip in her moving video, like nobody would notice. Sweetie, the internet sees everything. People are picking apart her videos with a fine-tooth comb, and this was a choice. A bad one. Allegedly, she claimed these were outdoor cats who didn't want to be inside, but if that's true, why was Milo fighting to get back in? Why was he crying at the door? The lies don't add up, and the cats paid the price. The state of those cats before they were abandoned? Horrific.
The resilient Jenkins actually had 5 cats. They had 5. So where's the other cats at, Stephanie? Because as we remember, she threw all the other ones outside at the dumpsters, talking about, well, if they want to be free, let them free. The fuck? You took them in. You took their survival instincts away. And then what really got me, because I got all this information from this other girl's page, which I will tag down below. She had ended up getting a kitten after she knew that Onyx had skin issues and knew that she couldn't provide and take care of him the way that she was supposed to. But this girl is over here doing the Lord's work because she has went back and found videos of Stephanie before she met Drew and the whole timeline of her meeting him, taking over. He actually seemed like a nice dude from the little bit of the clip that I seen. He looked completely different than what he does now. I don't know if it's the rugs or Stephanie, but...
Rumor has it Milo was skin and bones, with no fur on his back, raw skin from fleas, untreated infections, and what looked like burns, possibly from hot water or chemicals. Onyx wasn't much better, emotionally shut down, flinching at every movement, too scared to even eat unless he was alone. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was long-term neglect. Fleas don't take over a cat overnight. Infections don't spread like that without months of ignored vet visits. Allegedly, Milo's body was weak, his fur patchy, his health failing, and it wasn't just bad luck, it was indifference. Stephanie had the audacity to say she misses those cats. But where was that energy when Milo was suffering with open sores? Where was it when Onyx was too traumatized to purr? The neglect didn't happen overnight. It built up over months, maybe years, while Stephanie and Drew prioritized everything but the animals they claimed to love.
This cat used to belong to the resilient Jenkins. Let's talk about it. So if y'all remember when the resilient Jenkins were living in that 1-bedroom apartment, they had a couple of cats, Milo and Onyx. Milo was in horrible condition. He was not being taken to the vet. He was not being cared for properly. And Stephanie showed proof of her and Drew throwing the cats out right before they were being evicted. They put them outside, and a woman named Shaylin rescued both of the cats. Milo's skin condition was so bad that the vet did not think that he would grow his hair back, like fully grown back. And Stephanie and Drew had the nerve to say that Shaylin stole the cats when they literally put them outside. And then they called them outside cats. Shaylin is back on TikTok, so y'all can go and look for updates. But I wanted to give y'all an update too and show you how he's doing. He's doing fantastic. He has his own room. He has his own things. He's well taken care of, obviously, and y'all can see that for yourselves. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments.
Let's talk about the moment it all went down. Allegedly, during the eviction, Milo tried to come back into the apartment. Video footage supposedly shows him crawling at the door, meowing, confused, scared, just wanting to be home. And Drew allegedly grabbed him with force and threw him out again. Stephanie stood by, silent, unbothered. Her silence said it all. She didn't flinch, didn't speak up, didn't try to stop it. That moment, captured on video, is a gut punch. It's not just about a cat being thrown out. It's about the complete lack of compassion from the people who were supposed to care. And the kids? They were there, witnessing it all. Allegedly, they didn't get a chance to say goodbye, to pet their cats one last time, to have any kind of closure. They were left wondering where Milo and Onyx went.
There's been a lot of discourse lately with the resilient Jenkins stuff, but this is the one thing that people haven't talked about, is the fact that those kids never got closure with the loss of their pets. They have seemed to manage to lose their apartment, all their stuff, and their pets in a matter of months. And even for an adult, that would be soul crushing. Just imagine for a child. Like, if you are rehoming a pet, at least you get closure, like saying goodbye, you're finding a family that's going to take care of them. Like, you're leaving them behind knowing that at least someone's going to look after them. Those cats were thrown out, and those kids never got closure with that. Because I doubt that she told them, like, oh yeah, we're just going to toss them outside and they're going to be perfectly fine and fending for themselves. Like, no, those kids probably worried about those cats, especially if she told them what she told us, that they're going to be like indoor, outdoor, and that she's going to figure something out, and then last minute she just couldn't. And then not to mention the emotional roller coaster those kids probably went through, thinking that things were improving because they were getting stuff from their wish list, and finally being like, finally I have stuff of my own, maybe next I'll get a space of my own, and the next thing you know, their storage unit gets auctioned off, and those kids are told that they're gonna put their stuff in storage because they're gonna get it later. All their new stuff, they're gonna get it later, and then they'll never see that stuff again. They lost it.
If they were okay, if they were warm. One child reportedly asked, "Are they warm somewhere?" That's the kind of question that sticks with you, that makes you realize just how deep this loss cut. Now, here's where the story takes a turn for the better, and it's all thanks to a woman named Shailene. Allegedly, Shailene found Milo outside the apartment, looking like a ghost of a cat. Bald patches, raw skin, barely alive. She didn't hesitate. She scooped him up, took him in, and gave him the care he deserved. Onyx, too, got a second chance with her. Shailene bathed them gently, applied medicine, brushed them daily, and made sure they felt safe. Day by day, Milo's fur grew back, soft, shiny, full. He started purring again, following Shailene around, curling up in her lap like he'd never known pain. Onyx took longer to heal, emotionally scarred from the neglect, but Shailene was patient. She sat with him, talked softly, gave him space. The first time he let her pet him, just a soft brush down his back, she cried. It was a sign of trust. Now Onyx lounges by windows, chases shadows, and purrs when Shailene walks in. Both cats have clean litter boxes, high-quality food, cozy beds, and a home filled with love. They're not just surviving, they're thriving. And y'all, Milo even has his own room with a TV. A TV? That's the glow-up of the century.
I have a question for you, Stephanie Jenkins. Can you get any more reckless? No, I'm serious. Can you? Because there's no reason why your baby, how old is she? I don't know how old she is, but she's old enough to stand up. There's no reason she should be in that bassinet. That is so dangerous. And you try to explain that you're a good mom by saying, guys, don't worry, she has a blanket. She has blankets in her bassinet because in case she falls over. You're scared that she's gonna fall back, girl. She's gonna fall forward. She can already walk over, and her weight distribution is wild. If she just flings herself, she's gonna hit the floor, and the floor is made out of tile. I'm yelling and I'm so loud because you're so irresponsible. How is that okay for you to keep posting these types of videos where your kids are not in check? This is why I don't even share my kids on social media, because first of all, I don't want to be doing something silly, which, I have more common sense than most, but, why? Why give CPS another reason?
Shailene didn't do it alone, though. The community stepped up in a big way. Allegedly, when she shared the cat's story online, people flooded her with support. Donations poured in through GoFundMe and Amazon wish lists. Food, medical supplies, flea treatments, toys, you name it. People sent pet beds, grooming items, even treats to make Milo and Onyx feel special. It was a full-on show of compassion and outrage, not just for the cats, but for the kids who lost them. Thanks to that overwhelming support, Shailene enrolled Milo and Onyx in a full-year vet care plan, giving them unlimited checkups, emergency visits, and preventive care. No delays, no excuses, just the health security every pet deserves. It's a beautiful reminder that when people care, miracles can happen. Milo and Onyx are living proof that love and effort can heal even the deepest wounds. But let's flip back to Stephanie, because the contrast is glaring. While Shailene was out here saving cats, Stephanie was allegedly crying on TikTok about how broke she is, claiming she couldn't afford flea treatments. Yet her Amazon wish list? Oh, honey, it was a masterclass in priorities. Luxury home decor, makeup, beauty products, not a single flea collar, no cat food, no medicine. Nothing for the animals she claimed to love. She had a platform, an audience, and people ready to help. But instead of asking for what Milo and Onyx needed, she focused on herself. Always herself.
If you guys haven't figured it out by now, Stephanie and Drew will never change. And that's why I stopped making so many videos. Because regardless of what some of you think, I genuinely wanted to try to make a difference. And then I realized they don't care to change. They don't care to do better for their family. They don't care to move out of their hotel, because then what are they gonna, complain about or get attention for? These people don't even listen to a judge's orders, and you think they're gonna listen to anybody on here? Absolutely not. They don't care. And that's one of the reasons I stepped back. And whether you guys think I did or I didn't, or whatever you may think, doesn't matter to me. The fact is that I know that Stephanie doesn't even care that her man is cheating. There is proof right in front of her eyes that this man has been cheating. This woman knew things that nobody else knew before anybody else knew. And she still won't realize it. I don't know what to tell you, girl. She wasn't the first, and she won't be the last. And you probably should figure it out before he leaves you for another couch. Just saying.
Allegedly, people like Sophie Mallister reached out multiple times, begging to adopt the cats, but Stephanie left them on red. She didn't even call animal control to properly surrender them. Instead, she went online, claimed they were outdoor cats who didn't want to be inside, and washed her hands of the whole thing. Outdoor cats? Milo was literally scratching at the door to get back in. The lies don't add up, and the cats paid the price. And it gets worse. Neighbors allegedly saw some truly disturbing behavior. Rumor has it someone threw hot water at the cats to keep them away from the apartment. Whether it was Stephanie or Drew, we don't know for sure, but the fact that Milo showed up with what looked like burns, that's not a coincidence. Those cats were seen shivering in corners, scared for their lives, while Stephanie and Drew packed up their U-Haul and rolled out. Allegedly, Stephanie claimed she called animal control, but then she went on Facebook posting, "If someone wants to take the cats, I'll let you." Nobody came forward, and instead of making sure the cats were safe, she just left them. Abandoned. No plan, no follow-through, no care. The kids, they never got closure.
So I started talking about this in my YouTube live the other day, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth with it for my subscribers. People keep asking me, like, why would you believe Drew in that side piece thing is not real? I keep trying to say Drew and I have more to our relationship, more about each other than people give credit. Like, I know that man better than anybody. And people who want to say, like, well, I dated him in the past, or I made a baby with him in the past. Yo, that was his past self. Like, people changed. That was some 12, 13 years ago you're talking about this person. I know this man for the person he is for the past 3 going on 4 years. And now for the man who's continually trying to change and better himself for his family. Mind you, I really do believe the autism thing is a definite for Drew, okay? There's way too many things that point to that being most definite for him. And people want to be like, well, you can't self-diagnose and you can't. I love it when people want to say that about people. Don't let people discredit what you know about yourself. You're yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate it when people say that. I've known myself for 30 years. Drew's known himself for 35 years. I've known the man for 3 going on 4 years. Watched his everyday routine. Whew. Watched.
Let's talk about Stephanie's excuses, because they're a masterclass in deflection. Allegedly, she told animal control, "These are strays we took in, and we're letting them back out." She claimed the apartment complex was crawling with stray cats, that everyone fed them, that they weren't really hers. But let's break it down. If those cats were strays, why did Milo fight to get back inside? Why did the kids call them their fur babies? Why did Stephanie keep their toys and look at their pictures, allegedly crying about how much she misses them? You don't get to claim emotional attachment when it's convenient, and then call them strays when the law comes knocking. The law is crystal clear. 2 years in your home, they're yours. You're responsible. And Stephanie didn't just neglect that responsibility, she ran from it.
everything about this man. And I'm a very analytical person. I have my insecurities. There's just like not shit that he does that gets past me because I'm just that way. But anyways, I'm not going to say that there wasn't a piece of me that like kind of questioned, oh, could this be a possibility? Because like I said, I have insecurities. I am an insecure girl. I've had nothing but people like test my trust issues. So I really don't trust many people in my life, if anybody at all. So yeah, there was a piece of me that was like, I'm going to go digging around in this account and figure it out. That's why y'all see me in the comments. But when I looked at it and realized, like, this doesn't even sound like him. This sounds like somebody who's trying to set him up to look bad. Trying to, like, just pull one other piece of something to be like, let's make Drew and Stephanie look terrible. Let's make their relationship look illegitimate. Look like they shouldn't work it out. But it stings me because it's like I said, that's just not even the way Drew speaks. There's more to it, man. I hate that it seems like Drew and I were just talking about this too. It's weird for me because I can speak all this off the camera, talk to him, and it just seems like turning the camera on, all sense of what I was going to speak about is gone, and it pisses me off because I'm just that freaking awkward. But I got me on my hub. Howie fucking Mandel. There's some dude logo Howie Mandel in front of me.
The victim card only works when you haven't made a habit of causing harm, and Stephanie's track record? It's not looking good. Now, let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture. The kids. They're not just dealing with the loss of their cats. They're dealing with a life that's falling apart at the seams. Allegedly, they're still in that cramped motel room, sharing beds, sleeping on floors, with no privacy or quiet. The youngest ones are reportedly restless, irritable, confused, like they don't understand why their world keeps shrinking. The older ones, they're withdrawn, tense, like they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They're not just grieving Milo and Onyx, they're grieving their home, their belongings, their sense of normalcy. Allegedly, their stuff was put in a storage unit, with promises they'd get it back later, only for it to be auctioned off. Everything they owned, everything they thought was safe, gone. One child reportedly said they thought they'd finally get a space of their own, only to end up in a motel room with 7 people and no room to breathe. That's not just disappointing, it's soul-crushing.
These are so squishy. Anyways. But I spoke about this a little bit in my life, like I was saying. I always have Drew's location on whenever he's gone. If I want to call him, whenever the fuck, I'm going to call him. I want to ask him, please, can you come home? He's going to come home. Even when he's at work at Safeway, which, I mean, it's not like I'm the type of person to just be like, you need to come home, you need to come home all the time. But if I wanted to, I would. I will go through his phone at any point if I wanted to. Like, he knows I'm just that type of person, and he trips on things too. Like, if he's at the store for too long, he's waiting in line for too long, he'll be like, okay, he'll call me and be like, babe, it's taking a little bit longer because this and this. He just knows, hey, this is taking too long, she's probably tripping. Like, you think that sounds like a guy who's trying to do stuff behind my back when he's constantly trying to make sure I know he's not? If that makes sense. And when I do say something, he's going to be like, here's all the evidence that I'm not. Because, like I said, I've had my insecurities, so I bring things up.
And what's Stephanie doing through all this? Filming? Allegedly, she's recorded her kids crying, overwhelmed, pleading off camera to stop filming, but the phone stays on. One child was seen wiping tears on a motel bed. No privacy, no comfort, just a camera in their face. Another was reportedly heard saying they didn't want to be filmed anymore, but Stephanie kept going. It's not about growth or healing, it's about content. She's turning their struggles into viral moments, exploiting their pain for views, likes, and engagement. And when she announced she's taking a break to figure out content, y'all, the kids are going back to school soon, and there's no sign of her preparing, emotionally or financially, for supplies, clothes, or stability. No job search, no school prep, no calm conversations to reassure them, just thumbnails and TikTok. Her energy is going into engagement, not education. She's prioritizing views over textbooks, clicks over her kids' well-being. Let's talk about what that does to a child. Growing up under a camera lens where your pain is performance and your survival is content isn't just unhealthy, it's traumatic. These kids don't laugh like kids should. They don't play freely. They're living in a world where their most vulnerable moments are broadcast for strangers to dissect. Allegedly, one child was seen curled up on a motel mattress whispering Milo's name while Stephanie filmed. Another was reportedly pleading off camera, saying they didn't want to be filmed anymore, but the phone stayed on. That's not parenting. That's exploitation. These kids deserve privacy, support, peace, but all they're getting is exposure. They're not just suffering. They're being forgotten. Their pain turned into a storyline for Stephanie's next viral hit.
And then there's another thing. People always say, okay, well, you should leave him, and why wouldn't you have more respect for yourself, and this and this, and like, you always put it back on the woman if a man is doing something like that. And I've already told Drew, and he knows this too, if he was to do some sideways crap like that, especially now with everything we've been through and everything I put up with, like, let's be honest, if I was just like, bye, I could drop all the drama that has to do with his exes and move on with my social media success, if that makes sense. And I'm like still putting up with that stuff because Drew and I have a solid relationship. We have a lot of love and a lot of stuff to build off of. So why would I just be staying with him? And you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me sometimes that people still question Drew and I as a couple, and like, why are y'all still putting up with each other? And like, because there's obviously a lot of love in this family, and people question it for what? Because so many people out there want to put sideways ass opinions out. All I gotta say is the truth will keep coming out. I never wanted to be the one that was just spewing drama out on my account, but the truth will keep coming out. I have faith in my man, and I just want to build more of our lives together. We have so many goals. We're this close to just being in a house that would actually be decent for our family, and I feel like that would just be all the sense of relief that our family could ever get. Right now, I think that's what's causing so much tension in our families, that we all need a little space. You know? Who wouldn't understand that? None of the lies and all the bullcrappery that weird ass word. None of the lies and all the bullcrap that's out there.
Now, let's contrast that with the cat's story, because it's the only part of this mess that gives me hope. Milo and Onyx got out. They escaped the chaos, the neglect, the indifference, and found a new life with Cheyenne. Allegedly, when Shailene found Milo, he was a shadow of a cat. Skin and bones, no fur, raw skin, burns. Onyx was emotionally broken, frozen with fear, flinching at every sound. But Shailene didn't give up. She bathed them, medicated them, loved them back to life. Milo's fur grew back, soft and shiny. He purrs now, follows Shailene from room to room, acts like a kitten who never knew pain. Onyx took longer, but he's blooming too, lounging by windows, chasing shadows, purring when Shailene walks in. They have everything they were denied before: clean litter boxes, high-quality food, cozy beds, and a home filled with love. They're not afterthoughts anymore. They're family. And the community that helped make it happen? They're the real MVPs. Donations, supplies, support. It all came together to give these cats a second chance. But the kids, they're still stuck. They're still in that motel, still asking why their pets had to leave, still waiting for normalcy. Allegedly, they're not just grieving their cats. They're grieving their childhood. They're watching their pain be turned into content, their struggles monetized for views.
Is what makes us a family. I hope that kind of clears up a little bit more about like just why I got faith in my man. I know that it's hard for me because it's not like I'm an overly affectionate person, but I do appreciate connection and communicating a lot. But when Drew is on this like grind mode of just like a goal with the family, he is stuck in it. He's stuck in this mindset of just whatever his next move is. He's got to be doing the gig work for this many hours, and then his next move is to come home and make dinner, and then his next move is to clean up, and then his next move is to take a 2-hour nap. And he's got like a whole routine and setup and mind frame, and trying to get in there and be like, hey babe, let's talk for a little bit, or, you know, I don't fault him for it, because that's just him trying to provide for his family and trying to grind and go. And that's why I told y'all he had hit a burnout point before. He had a mental burnout point, because that's all I knew Drew as, was to go, 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 go. When we first got together, he was like, you don't need to do the whole working and being a mom thing. Like, I can see you really just want to be home with your kids. You can stay home and I'll work. But we didn't anticipate the economy was going to flip when it did, just when he started being the only working parent in the household and I was at home. Then we had Atlas. You know, there's just so much more to our story than people give credit. And it's not the story that everybody else has made up about us. It's our story, you know?
And Stephanie, she's not showing any signs of stepping up. No job applications, no school prep, no therapy for her kids. Just more TikTok posts, more wish lists for luxury items, more excuses. The cat's got a happy ending, but the kids are still waiting for someone to put them first. It's not just messy internet drama, it's neglect, plain and simple. The system stepped in for the cats, citing Stephanie, banning her from owning pets. But the kids, they're still waiting for someone to see them, to rescue them, to give them the love and stability Milo and Onyx now have. So here's the question, y'all. How much longer do these kids have to live like this? How many more excuses will Stephanie make before someone steps in and prioritizes their well-being? Should she even be trusted with a platform that rewards this behavior, let alone pets? Should these kids' lives keep being turned into viral moments? Is real change possible for this family, or are they stuck in a loop of views, likes, and unresolved trauma?
You were there 12 years ago, not here. 3-4 years of our life, and the Drew that I know is the Drew you guys need to start to get to know. Please, just understand there's more that's going to come to light. And it may not be Drew and I that like to speak on it, because we like to be the people that keep to our own lives and our truth. We just do our freaking selves. But the amount of people that are putting the connections together and speaking, y'all are saving me. These songs you're making, mentally saving me. I can't not even thank you guys enough. Really, like we said, the truth would come out. And I can't wait to just, it's like, even in my videos, I'll be watching myself and be like, girl, this is just a glimpse of yourself. And I hope you guys can just hold on, keep coming up through our glow up, because you're going to see a completely different side of Drew and myself. And it's the people we've been trying to show you guys that we truly are, you know? We want to do everything we can to provide for our kids and give them the best life that they can. Our kids don't just need housing. They need sports opportunities. They need vacation opportunities. Our kids deserve lives and memories just as much as any other babies out there. So, yeah. Anyways, I just want to catch up with y'all, and it feels like it's been a minute, and I'm just now getting a minute to myself, if any. I'm actually pretty nervous the baby's gonna wake up at any minute and wake Drew up, and he just got off work. He's trying to sleep, so trying to do this as quick as I can, and I'm sorry if I'm coming off a little scatterbrained. Oh my god, she stutters and everything. You know, at least I stutter and I don't scream into the camera. Just see.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think. And while we're here, let's take a moment to celebrate Milo and Onyx, proof that healing is possible when the right people care enough to do the work. Thank you for watching, y'all. If this story hit you as hard as it hit me, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe with notifications on for more updates on this heartbreaking situation. Let's keep the conversation going. Let me know what you think and click on one of the videos shown on screen, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.